Hey everybody, Yamez here with Allen Metal Forge. Don't worry, I got you guys muted for a second if you guys wanted to finish your thoughts. Sorry, not you guys in the chat, you guys in the ear beats. Sorry. Alright, sorry about just, I thought I would have a little splash screen up that would take time, but it didn't take. But let me go ahead and turn on desktop audio so that you guys can talk. That should be good. Testing.
Greeting.
Hello.
Hi-yo.
So,
Hello.
good morning, Trail Dust. Hello, fellow Forge addicts. Dana, Mick Chu, Paul Orchard, how you doing? Shane Malone, Paul, Carnage Creations, Bor Tagav, Hubcap, how you doing, brother? Mountain Home Forge, and Sam Towns is in the chat. Sam Towns was also in the ear, so really. And Sulbert, good morning, Canadian Necktie, how you doing? So yeah, having a good day. I found my pineapple hat. Been missing for about 6 months now. It just means there's 2 more lost somewhere. Polynesian design blue. I got a blue one and I got a yellow one that are missing. Long time missing. How you doing, James Jones? Speargrass, what up?
What's going on, Adam?
Adam's just smooshing and leaving. He doesn't want to talk to us today.
Yeah, he's on break.
Yeah.
That's because I'm here. I bet.
Right. there's enough Australian testosterone going on right now.
Totally.
We got Big Fudge, the Shop Towel Ninja. John Burnell.
I haven't been that in a while.
I know. That's why it's a callback. So, how's everybody been doing? What's everybody been working on? Oh, Necktie's making Damascus this morning. Nice.
Always fun.
Yeah. It's, as we talked about last week, it's like how much... It's like I'm not a bladesmith by any means, but I love making Damascus when I do get to it.
See you, Adam.
Bye, Adam.
Bye, Adam. Bye.
But yeah, so
Okay.
so yeah, I love the patterns and stuff. I finished and hung the rack, the coat rack thing that I was making during my last live stream. It don't look. I could have made it better and everything, but I was trying to be quick with it and get it all done in one live stream, and it looks good. It just doesn't look great. It functions as I needed it to, and yeah, my coats are hanging.
So it's always the way.
Yeah, well, I had a few people saying, "Oh no, you gotta have," like in the comments after the fact. "Oh, you gotta have," I've never seen it done like that. Coat racks are supposed to, have one going straight and then 2 going 45 degree, and have a little a hook on the top and a hook on the bottom. It's like, in that every coat rack. Come on. And it's like, not every coat rack. Give me a break. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It hangs my coats.
That's the job. Doesn't have to look pretty, just has to work.
Yeah. I'll probably change it again in another 6 months to a year. I'll get I've got a design in my head that I want to do. So yeah. John Brunell's working on his surface grinder belt conversion.
He's twerking on this surface grinder?
Twerking. Yeah. Here's one. Bor is working on a falcata sword. Cool.
Nice.
Jones is working on a power hammer. Paul can't hang around. I get it. Yes, I did get that piece of half circle steel hubcap. It's out there. So looking for like different bases and stuff for sculptures. Hubcap had sent me a. It's like 1 inch thick by I think it's like 8 or 10 inches diameter, but just half circle. And now I've got it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, I had an idea to have like a circle and then have a bunch of stuff coming off of it and having, you know, like jellyfish hanging, you know, like hanging about it. But then I'm looking at it, I'm like, flat up against a wall, kind of something, you know, there's multiple ways I could play with it. And yeah, I've got lots of plans for it. Morning, Bobby.
Hey, Gomez.
Yeah.
Hey, did that swage block get lost in the mail or what?
Oh, no, it's sitting on my tractor. I'm so sorry. It's sitting on my tractor. My outbox in my shop is the John Deere tractor seat. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I got to get that sent to you. I'm sorry.
I know you mentioned like 2 months ago, like, oh, hey, you know.
I need your address so that I can send this to you. Yeah.
Yep, sounds familiar.
Oh man, no, it's in the outbox.
All right.
Remember though, it's like the past about 2 months from me, I've been in a mental state. So yeah, there's a lot of things that just kind of went, you know,
that feeling.
Fell off my radar. I apologize, Sully. I'll try and get that boxed up. I'll try and get it boxed up today so that I can toss it in the work truck, and when we get a second, I can get it at a post office.
I'm not really worried about it. I just wanted to give you crap about it.
Well, no, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that you've been doing, that you've been telling me that you've been working on. That thing would really come in handy. So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, no, I'll get it to you. Yeah, don't if I say I'm gonna do something and it's like I don't mention it, don't, you know, like whatever, and haven't done it, remind me, you know, because very often I forget, or it slips, it goes to the back burner of the mind, like it's just the way my brain works. Trail dust. I have some half oval I salvaged. I can send you some. Yeah, I've got some ideas for like half round plate and stuff like that, using as unique bases for sculptures. So absolutely, like, you know, if y'all have something that you think would be a cool base or something like that, feel free to send it. You know, if shipping is outrageous, get with me ahead of time, and you know, it's like if it's something I could, yeah, I'd absolutely, you know, try and do what I can to help out with shipping, take care of shipping or whatever. But absolutely, you know. Hey, Bill. What's up, Robert? Matthew? Bloobs? But anyway, so that's what you guys are, what I'm doing. Sam, Sully, what are you guys up to?
You first, Sully.
Yeah, no, I've just been I'm on days off, so I'm kicking it at the house. I bought a little lathe and I've been playing with that lately, and that's been a lot of fun. Just turning mesquite into sawdust. I mean, you know,
fun
with no clear plan in mind. Just chucking a log up in there, taking a roughing gouge, and making a toothpick. You know.
Wow.
And other than that, I mean, like, no, I haven't done much. I've been kind of, I don't know, ever since I burned the side out of my crucible and got molten copper all in my forge, I haven't lit a fire since. I just been so kind of, I look at it and I'm just kind of depressed. I did take the whole thing down and And I set the forge down on the ground, and I'm like, well, I'm going to have to break all that shit out of there. And yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed, one of those things.
Yeah. Damn.
So I've been focusing on working on the wood turning techniques and stuff instead of so much the fire. I gotta order the stuff to the refractory and the castables to fix that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'd love to get into turning. It's more stuff in the shop though.
Well, and honestly, it's really a lot of fun. I mean, even though I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I'm just, let's put something on here and let's see what we can make.
Was it a graphite crucible, Sully?
No, it was a piece of 3-inch square tubing with I welded on a handle and put a piece of plate underneath it. It melted the side out of it.
Yeah. That sucks. And you, Sam, what you been up to?
Yeah, I've been mostly working on these sabers. Been playing around with making HEMA blades. It all kind of started like I wanted to make blades for my HEMA club, and then I kind of fell down a rabbit hole. And so I just on Friday finished a pair of 1796 light cavalry saber HEMA blades and hilted them up. Got them to training on Friday night. I was literally finishing them like an hour before training.
Right.
But yeah, no, I've been having a lot of fun with that. That's basically been what's kept me going these last couple of weeks. It's been a bit rough. Otherwise, weather is heating up and it's melting me.
Yeah.
But I'll survive. Slowly getting the wiring done for my kiln at the moment. I'm trying to wire up a PID controller for my little electric kiln, and it turns out that I am way worse at electronics than I even thought I was, and I didn't think I was that great to begin with.
Hey, that's always fun to find out.
Yeah, mid-project.
I'm looking at the diagrams and following the tutorials on YouTube and stuff, and then I'm like, I don't have half of the shit that I'm supposed to have. So I've got to make a run to like JCar or Tronics or something like that and get all the electric stuff that I need.
And you got to keep up with that stuff. If you get into working with electronics on the regular basis, you kind of got to keep up with it.
Yeah, I'm not making a plan of making it as a regular thing. the next oven I build, I have to wire up a PID for it as well, but I'll just wire it up exactly the same way as I'm wiring this one up.
Right.
But yeah, after that, I'm gonna outsource it to someone else because I cannot be bothered with the time. Yeah, I need to make a tempering oven for my swords because at the moment I'm currently using the Don Fog kiln to both harden them and temper them, and it's a little bit finicky to get running at tempering temperatures.
Right.
So,
I'll have to. But I mean, that's the once you get it, man. Once you get it and it's set and working the way you want it to work, just eyes on the prize, man. Imagine how much simpler a lot of your stuff is going to be.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having it all set up properly and running smoothly. That's the dream.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. Pekka?
But this week it's just I've got to film another Chalk Talk video.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what I'm covering this week, but
I got to get back to videos.
Yeah.
I really
do. And then I got to work on my commissions. I've got a couple of daggers that I'm supposed to be working on. So
nice.
Yeah. Oh, and a bunch of hammers. I forged out a bunch of hammers earlier this week.
Yeah. Are they all frog hammers?
No, they're not all frog hammers. No, I've got four 2.5 pound diagonal pins, right-handed ones this time. 2 English cutlass hammer, 2.5 pound English cutlass hammers, and 4 Viking cross pins.
Cool.
So I'll get those finished up on my Etsy store.
That's busy there.
That is busy. Like you're a lot.
Yeah, well,
it's
it's great because I can forge them all, put them in the vinegar, and then basically they just wait until my my employee shows up to do all the grinding for me. So he shows up and busts out the grinding in a day, and then I do all the heat treatment, and we get on to handling.
I can't wait till I can have an employee. There's so much crap I need to be done. I'm busy, but I have no orders.
Yeah, no, he's he only works on commission basis at the moment, so basically, whatever he works on, he gets a percentage of it. Cool. As it sells. So
yeah, cool.
if there's nothing selling, he doesn't make any money.
But that's motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can make as
and
much.
It works for us right now.
Yeah, you can make as much as you want here, but we got to work at it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
While you're at it, it's in your best interest to do a little shameless promotion,
Right.
That's it.
And I notice we've got John Brunell, Almost Perfect Forgeries, in here. I don't know if he can chat or not, but I'm caressing his Discord face here. Give him a second, see if he wants to unmute himself and say hi, or just listen in. Probably just listening in. I'm going to stop caressing his face and start caressing Sam's face. Here we go. Bortagov at Sam. Never made a fuller before. Do you suggest forging or grinding it in?
Yeah, I just answered in the chat, but yeah, grinding is definitely 100% the best way to go. Forging in fullers is just pain, pure pain. And the grinding them in is so much easier. If you can forge them in if you need to gain width, like if you don't have the right width of stock, sometimes you might need to. And it can be handy to forge in a slightly narrower fuller than you want, just to give you a line to work to with the grinder, if you want. But for the most part, you're better off grinding them because you can set a rest on your grinder and set the wheel to a height and then just follow that, and you don't have to worry about screwing it up. Whereas if you bounce out of the fullering jig when you're forging it, you can just destroy a blade real easily.
Sorry, I just got a notification from Facebook. I just got I think block or
Yeah, that took me a minute to really sink in when you were talking about that, Sam, because I was literally picturing. I wasn't picturing a knife. I was picturing a hammer. I was picturing somebody grinding fullers into a hammer. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, no. Okay, no. For hammers and axes and stuff like that, forge your fullers in. But no, we're talking about Bor is talking about making his Falcata sword. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, context.
No, I know, but I would just, it's one of those things that I caught it right there, or, I didn't catch the context, and I was like, no.
Yes, no, don't grind your fullers in on a hammer. That would be nuts.
Okay, this is a good start to a segue. Bill Wheel, question. Any idea what kind of steel a tie rod from a large pickup is? It's 1 1/4 inch thick. Tie rod steel. Anybody?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It could be anything from mild steel, 4140, 4340, 5160.
Oh!
It could be.
Should we pull the Pee-wee where anybody that says 5160 goes, it's the word of the day. Ah!
What was the question there?
What's the tie rod from a large pickup? What steel is it? But
they're typically, the ones I've checked are typically I've found some that are mild steel, but typically like a 4140-ish. They don't really behave like a spring steel, because when you bend one, they stay bent. They don't flex back to to retain their shape. You hit a bump real good, and your tie rod is hosed.
Yeah, that pretty much was my guess, is some form of low carbon, medium carbon steel maximum.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's not resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Much like it's got very similar properties to the drag link, which is the one that goes from one side to the other to connect the two front wheels together. So,
which brings us to Metal of the Week.
Metal of the Week.
Today we discussed thrash metal.
Thrash, yeah.
I'm telling you, somebody needs to make us a cool intro.
Right. So, Metal of the Week, Static X. I highly recommend you give it to him. It's a combination of thrash metal and speed metal, and it's really great shop music. But real quick, re-answer Bill Wheel. Is tie rod good for a drift? I mean...
yeah.
Sure.
As long as you're not using it under a press or a power hammer, you should be fine.
Yeah.
So Metal of the Week is 5160. There is very little to no information out there about 5160. It is a complete mystery metal. Nobody knows exactly what it does or what it's for. No, don't. I'm not the expert. I'm the entertainment. Listen to the experts.
Yeah, it's odd that it's such a proprietary metal.
Only true bladesmiths know about 5160.
It is only and exclusively used in coil springs.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now that the joke's out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. So, in all seriousness, what I got on 5160, for starters, 5160 is the AISI designation, which is the American Iron and Steel Institute. I did not know that that's what AISI stood for until I did this bit of research. But no, I mean seriously, and I was like, oh, that's what AISI is. Okay. And so the number tells us what it is mostly. And so like 5 is the what the alloying agent is. And so in this case, 5 is chromium. And the 1 is the percentage of chromium, so that's 1% chromium. Conversely, 52-100 would be chromium 2%. And then the second number is the points of carbon. Of course, where most of us are all familiar with that. So in this case, it's 0.6% carbon. Now, there are other. That is kind of a broad designation for 5160, being just 6 points of carbon and 1 point of chromium. But in order to actually be 5160, it's also got to have between 3/4 and 1% manganese, about 35% phosphorus, and kind of negligible silicon and sulfur, and that's kind of what gives the 5160 its unique properties are in those smaller elements, really. And it's hold on,
just a slight correction, not 35% phosphorus. 0.035.
0.03. Oh, did I say 35?
Yeah, you want less than 0.035% phosphorus.
I'm sorry. I hosed that one, but fair enough.
No, yeah, you're good. But the majority ones are just manganese, chromium, and silicon.
Yeah. And where was that? It's 5160. Because it's primarily used in the automotive industry for automotive suspensions, coil springs, leaf springs, whatever. It's extremely what's the word? I guess it's not really resilient. I can't recall what the.
It's tough.
It's resistant. It's resistant to uniform compression. So because in an automotive suspension application, the steel is under constant compression. It is always compressed, and it doesn't just wear a fatigue and sag and sag and sag. I mean, it not in any appreciable time frame anyhow. And so it's very unique. Not 5160, but like spring steels in general are unique in that respect. And 5160 just being the most common automotive use spring steel. It's used. It's also what I didn't know. It's also most commonly used in car bumpers.
Really?
Not the plastic bumper cover, but the metal bumper underneath it, and the chrome-plated bumpers like on pickups and whatnot. You know, there would be a 5160 like sheet that is press formed and then chrome-plated. You know, whatever. So that was news to me.
That's news to me.
5160. That's not all the time, but it is commonly used in bumpers. Another thing is it is 80 times harder to compress than liquid water. I didn't know there was a measurement of compression for liquid water because you're always been told liquids are non-compressible.
I mean pneumatics or
no.
Hydraulics.
No, that's under pressure. That's not compressible.
Oh.
But anyways, it is to an extent it is compressible because the let's see, I got the numbers right here. The bulk modulus of water is 2.15 gigapascals, which I don't even know what to tell you that is. And for 5160, it's 160 gigapascals. And I mean that's 2.15 to 160. That's a pretty big difference there. So it's pretty strong stuff.
Yes, very much.
It does not machine very well. It doesn't weld very well, but it's really good for hot forming. So forging is its prime method or its most ideal method for shaping and forming.
Okay, gigapascal for range or for frame of reference. 1 gigapascal is equal to 140 or 14,503 psi.
Holy crap!
So 1 gigapascal is 14,500 psi. So that's
1.4 million psi.
Sure.
You're not going to be doing that on planet Earth. just telling you that much.
Yeah.
I don't think we could build a container capable of that. I would like to comment on something that Smret Pekka said in the chat, which is that Chromium will support carbide building, which is true in hyper-eutectoid steels. Now, anyone who follows my channel or listens to the Forgecast will know that my favorite words are hyper and hyper-eutectoid. And the eutectic is a line at which all iron atoms in a steel have a carbon companion. And so that is around 0.75% carbon, which is above what 5160 has in it. The average range is from 0.56 to 0.64. So you're well below the eutectic. So therefore, there won't be any free carbon atoms to form carbides. So carbide segregation is not common in 5160. And that's a good thing, because that's why it's a spring steel. Carbide segregation inside a spring would be a very bad thing, because it would be a weak point.
Right.
Because carbides are basically diamond. And so they are very brittle. Very, very hard, but very, very brittle. So undergoing expansion and contraction and flexion, you're going to end up with a snap. Which is why you don't normally see hyper-eutectic springs.
Right.
Oh, yeah, huh. That was I remember from back in my race car days, those words being associated with valve springs.
Yep, there you go.
You were saying that, and I was like, where have I heard that before? And then you said spring after it, and I was like, oh yeah.
Right.
Hyper. How is it? Is it hypercutectic?
Right. Sam, you're breaking up and going a little matrixy a bit. Not quite getting. I was checking. Do you have something downloading in the background? Auto update. I was looking to see if I had a boost available to boost the quality of our.
I don't think that, because you're coming through clear, so it's got to be on Sam's end.
Okay.
Complete. Bollocks.
Oh, you're clearing up.
Signed. Yep, there we go. Connection's back.
There you go. Turned
I don't
off.
know what happened there.
Yeah. Weird stuff, but
I have no idea.
weird.
Oh, and that's pretty much the extent of what I got on the technicals on 5160. And it's basically just, I mean, in its most basic form, it's automotive spring steel. I mean, and granted, now, but by the same account, you still can't pick up a spring and go, oh, this is definitely 5160. I mean,
Yeah.
because there are other spring steels, and unless you have the numbers off of it and research it back to the manufacturer and find out what the manufacturer used, it's a crapshoot. But I mean, the way I look at it is you might as well just treat it as such,
Right.
And you can't really go wrong. One of the wonderful things about 5160 is that it is a relatively forgiving steel when it comes to heat treat, because it is a fairly simple carbon steel. You're looking for, your austenitizing temperature of 1550 degrees Fahrenheit or around, critical temperature, and then quenching in a medium speed oil, so like canola oil or, rice bran oil or something like that. Your home-based oils are going to do it.
Yeah, very beginner-friendly steel.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I recall the tempering, if I recall the tempering on it is also you can do in a toaster oven.
Oh, easy, yeah.
So
like you're looking at about 180 degrees Celsius, about 450 degrees Fahrenheit. 450
is what I was doing my coil or my punches and chisels and all that fun stuff at.
Yeah. Aimless asked, and Sully just mentioned forge welding. 5160, all chromium based steel, so 52100, 5160, and to a lesser extent like 4140 and stuff like that. You're looking at the chromium inhibiting the weld. So, as Bohr said, 5160 will forge weld fine to most other steels, but you'll find it difficult to forge weld to itself. I find that 5160 has a severe problem welding to other high carbon steels where they have any amount of chromium in them. I've seen spring steel used in 5160 and Sub9, which Sub9 is Australian variant of 5160, although it's actually 5155. But it's close enough. But yeah, so 5160 very easily forge welds to mild steel. But yeah, any kind of carbon steel, especially anything that contains any level of chromium, is going to be a no-go for Troy.
Yeah, very very pixelated sound, but I heard it, and I hope you guys did too. It's
my internet connection's gone to crap.
Yeah. Basically, what I got from that is chromium steel to chromium steel is a difficult, has. I didn't exactly hear why, because there was a lot of science there.
Because the chromium is what inhibits the weld.
Yes.
While technically speaking, like in a broader sense of terms, chromium is added as a corrosion inhibitor. In the case of like 52100 and sorry about that. What's the other one? What are we talking about? 5160. There's actually not there. Yeah. There's not enough chromium to actually inhibit it, and they do rust quite readily, and the rust does contribute to fatigue and deterioration of the quality of the steel. So when you're using it in say a blacksmithing application, you do need to take that into account. It is going to very readily rust, and anyways, but yeah, so even though the chromium doesn't inhibit the corrosion like it does in higher concentrations, it does make the forge welding a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I like.
Just in case. Sorry.
So I was gonna say I like Robert Lonus's explanation. Sam is so smart that the computer is trying to join him to it.
Yeah. Sam, off the top of your head, do you know what the chromium content on 4140 is?
So from memory, I believe it's about 0.5, 0.6%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so a little bit less than you're looking for in. I'm pretty sure that's right. And now I'm gonna have to check because.
Well, it wasn't that important. It was just to satisfy my own curiosity at the moment. So, but now I've opened the box, and you got to find out.
That's it. It's actually 0.1% chromium. Sorry.
0.1.
Yeah, 0.1% chromium.
Oh, okay. Well, that's lower than I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, between 0.8 and 1.1.
You know, and I've never attempted a 4140 to itself forge weld. I've only forge welded it to mild steel. So
I've tried to forge 4140 to itself, and it did not like it.
Okay.
I also tried to forge weld a 5160 bit or a sub 9 bit into a 4140 body, and I could not get it to take, no matter what I did.
That explains so much because I've got some flat bars of 4140, confirmed 4140.
Yeah, that's the same 4140 that I've got, and I what I use it for is I cut a chunk out. Yeah, the Dan Zappa stuff. I cut a chunk, just a small little sliver out, and then I cut a slice down the middle of a railroad spike, and then I sandmined in that 4140 for a tool steel edge. But
yeah, and I tried doing a folded sort of weird axe thing with it, using itself as a bit. And it was a nightmare to forge weld. I did get it. To be fair, I did get it.
To be fair,
it's just it didn't fully seat. Like I had to work the heck out of it. Just robot Sam. I only got about half a consonant and 2/3 of a vowel coming through that.
So I mean, so at the end of the day, I mean, 5160s, in my opinion, is pretty decent for as far as like a tool steel goes. I mean, I'm not a bladesmith, so I'm not making knives, swords, stuff like that out of it. But what I do with a lot of it is, I've got springs, I've got train springs, I've got truck springs, I've got springs out of struts, I've got garage door springs, I've got shaker springs. Which, I have got just piles and piles and piles of 1/4-inch spring, and
the square
for all intents and purposes, I'm going to consider all of it 5160, and I almost exclusively use it for gravers, chisels, punches, drifts, stuff like that, and it works absolutely excellent for that, especially when it comes to like deformation, from smacking it with the hammer. I've got other things that I've tried to use that, over time they'll start to kind of like bend a little bit, or you'll get some deflection in the middle of the tool, and then in which case you need to just kind of heat it up and straighten it out. But with the 5160 stuff that I've used, I've had really good luck with that stuff just staying straight, and so I really like it for that in my respect, because I'm not doing blades out of it. When I do blades, I do them out of typically other stuff. But that's my take on it. And go.
Hey, Dylan. Hey, Drew. How you guys doing? Sam, I'm sorry that.
Did Sam checked out?
Sam had to check out because he was having connection issues. If he gets them figured, more than welcome to pop back.
Well, I hope he pops back in, because his knowledge is irreplaceable.
John Burnell has been trying to turn his mute off and he can't. What you do, just in case you're wondering, right click your name and you'll open up this menu. Okay? Or if you're on,
and If you're on a phone, you can just tap the screen, go down to the bottom, and there's a microphone and a speaker emblem, and you just tap the microphone button that's got a line through it, and it'll unmute you.
Down here. Yeah. Adios, Sam. Thank you for coming. You're always welcome.
Yep, thanks, Sam.
It's funny because I was just watching a Dalek episode of Doctor Who, and it was giving me like freaking, exterminate. But yeah, that 5160. It's like it's one of those. Here's where I can come in with it. You guys went through the science, quite a bit. And then here's where I and most people can probably come in, because I don't have a scientific mind at all. But
the way I look at it is kind of like the way Sam was pointing out, is understanding the science of the metal kind of helps you understand what is easily and not easily accomplished. Kind of like the chromium inhibiting the weld. So higher chromium steels are harder to forge weld. And that makes complete sense. And I didn't really, everybody's heard that 5160 doesn't like to weld to itself, right? Everybody hears that. It's not impossible, it's just difficult. And I hadn't really ever attributed that to chromium steels until today. I mean, if Sam hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have thought of that, being a kind of a blanket statement. Of course, I've never tried to forge weld 52100. And I've never tried to forge weld 4140 to itself, even though that is a 1/10 the chromium level of 5160, and a 20th of 52100. It's still 4140 is still difficult. So, but understanding that because it's a chromium steel, and if you're dealing with any chromium steel, which there aren't just two, there are many different alloys that fall in the 5 category, that if you come across them, before you even start to work them, you're going to know, this is a high chromium alloy. If I've got a forge weld, I might want to go with something different. You know what I mean? Because if you can get the same mechanical properties that you're looking for out of another steel, when you're going to need a forge weld, it would be beneficial to go with that other steel rather than sit there and try to suffer through this forge weld that you can't figure out why it's not working.
Well, more to the point.
So that is handy information.
Yeah, without a doubt, the ability to know the science behind what you're doing helps do it. Know what your A, limitations, and B, possibilities are. Without a doubt. That's not an argument whatsoever. But it's nice to know why 5160, even the simple sciences behind it, why 5160 is a useful steel for punches, chisels, springs, in instances, like if you're doing the forging aspects for a lock or
right.
Like why use 5160 specifically, or why use a spring steel such as 5160 specifically for these, applications. So it's like, that's why you can, and 5160 and its properties is why you can take a coil spring, even if it's not quite 5160, but still close enough to count. Why you can cut it off, straighten it out, bang out the shape, and then use it as a chisel, punch, fuller, struck tool, and have it work. So yeah, it's such a well-rounded material to play with. And Drew Wilson asks, what is a good working heat for 5160 that is about 3/8 of an inch thick? Because 5160 is hard to move.
I'm sorry, Yama, as you broke up there, I couldn't hear it. What was that?
Drew Wilson is asking, what is a good working heat for 5160, 3/8 of an inch thick? Because 5160 is hard to move.
In my experience, It is a little bit more forgiving than some other stuff, and you can work it down into the low oranges. So I mean, you start out at yellow. I mean, you don't got to get it white hot, because then you're
decarburizing.
You're carburizing it. You're excessively scaling. There's not much point. It works just as easy as at a yellow as it does down into the low orange. And once you start going red, at that point you're just kind of planishing. I mean, it works at heat. It works very similar to many other steels. So I mean, it's a little. In my opinion, it moves a little bit easier than 4140. It's not quite as resilient at heat.
This goes into one of those things that's like notoriously me. I have run across very few steels that I find it difficult to move at the proper temperatures, because I forge everything. It's like I'm not going to say like I'm snooty and I know the exact temperatures. I heat it up, hit it. If it's not moving, I heat it up more. I that's how I find my proper forging temperature.
Right.
I heat it up to the point where it moves like butter. Titanium, when I get it hot, it moves like butter. A33, when I get it hot, it moves like butter. 4140, when I get it hot, it moves like butter. The only steel that I had any inherent difficulty in, zeroing in on that butter zone, as I mentally call it, is D2. And to be fair with that, I only played with it for like 3 days and then said, screw this, and I sent it off to friends. Bob Bew got it, and he actually forged himself a D2 Fuller, which, after time, I think it broke.
Well, Roy's here, so I gotta go.
Uh-oh. Hey, John. Hey, Roy. Lurk. $5 super chat. Thanks, brother, man. Speaking of Roy, he's got his Christmas giveaway coming up, and I have got to put together a little something for that. But yeah, you don't gotta go, John. But yeah, what was I saying? Squirrel. Drew, the working temperature, and knowing a working temperature, like if I were to tell you, it works best at 20 or 2150 degrees, that's all well and good if you have a thermometer that can tell you what the temperature of the steel is. Or if I were to tell you, it works best at a screaming orange or a dull yellow, that's well and good. But if our eyes aren't attuned, or our working space, like colors in different lights look different. So if you're forging outside, what I would call an orange may be a red to you, because of the way the light works in different environments. Another $5. Oh, Merry Christmas. 12 inches of snow expected today. Man, it is 56 degrees and sunny out. I'm going to probably go out and, some shorts today. Just to, haha, you. But yeah, so an easy way to figure out what the best forging temperature is and calibrate your own mind for it is to practice, is to put it in, get it hot, take it out, pay attention to how it moves while you're moving it, and what color the steel is when it stops moving easily, so it's like an easy, non-scientific way to calibrate it, or to do it, is to calibrate your eye to see what that color range looks like for the steel.
And I mean, like, and one of these days, I'm gonna like spend $100 to buy all the stuff to like temperature control the forge, with the PID controller and the thermocouple and all that, where I can just dial in a temperature, and then it'll heat up to that temperature and cut the gas on and off and just keep it right there at that. I mean, just like that's gonna be nice. And I've got all the stuff sitting on my Amazon wish list going. All right, someday,
right.
someday I'm gonna set my forge where I can go. Okay, I need to heat this to this temperature, and I can just like dial it in and then just walk away.
Yeah, I tell you, I've had one of those high temp thermostat or thermo guns on my wish list, or not wish list, but like in my buy later, and I keep every time I check out on like for the past 3 years, every time I've checked out, it's save for later, save for later, save for later.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just it's been I'm like I said, I'm not a super scientific kind of person. Like I can know the science, but then applying science mentally doesn't quite work for me. So it's like, Robert said, get it hot and hit it. That's my applied science is just do it until it works. Like,
right.
Hey, Rob Hoof.
Hey, I got a question there, Yamez. If you like when it comes to the Discord, and we've got nitro and we've got a couple boosts and all that. Can a person only apply one boost per server?
I believe you can apply multiple boosts to servers because over at the Coin Merge server, Pyro.
I mean, because I've got 2 boosts and I've got one of them on Coin Merge, and I mean, like, I don't really think I need it there anymore.
I don't think you need it. The only benefit to having it there is the benefits to server specific boosts or server specific things, accessing, say, for example, server specific stickers if you or gifts if you use those.
Well, no, because I only boost this one, and what in the heck is going on here? I only boost this server and Coin Merge, and I mean I can use all of my stuff on all like 12 servers across them. So
yeah, but I believe you absolutely can.
Hey, hold on, I'm having an issue with my Discord chopping up here. Let me. I need to close Discord and restart it.
Here. Okay.
No, but what I'm getting is not. Everything I'm getting is choppy, and I mean, like getting every other word is kind of making me want to pull my hair out. And right now, I can't close it. It's I'm trying to close out of the screen, the chat screen, and it won't close. So
you do what you gotta. You do what you gotta do. I'll chit chat with the people.
I will be right back in like a minute.
Okay. Let me see. Harbor Freight just got them guns. Says, yeah. Roy popped out of Lurksville. I'm breaking up. How am I breaking up? Probably because I was bouncing around. Let me see. Yep. Roy, that's pretty much I share that sentiment exactly. We are blacksmiths, not metallurgists. Keep it simple. That's 2 cents. It's yeah, I agree. It is, and what we kind of discussed a little bit today is it is good to know at the very least some of the basics of the metals that you're working with. I mean, if you're primarily working with mild steel or tool steels that are for punches, chisels, hammers, etc. That's pretty cut and dry. But when you go into like some of the more complex steels and for whatever reason using them, it's good to know the limits and possibilities is kind of where we were going with it. But bottom line, if you don't need that information, it's not. You don't need that information to make some awesome stuff at the anvil, So yeah, I'm right. Crawford's here. Hey, Crawdaddy. Welcome back, Sully. Is that better?
All right. How about now?
You sounded fine this whole time.
No. But I was the audio I was getting was not fine.
Yeah. Is it fine now?
You were the only one that wasn't breaking up on mine.
Yeah. I was probably breaking up because I was changing.
Breaking up on mine.
I was swapping servers left and right. But to
I did close Discord completely down, and then I moved my second boost from Coin Merge over to the Forge chat, which now we're halfway to level 2, so it's not much help, but hey,
it's another step.
Yeah,
it's another step. Let me see. Yeah. I hate how it opens the server plans, and I don't need to know the server plans. I want to see where we are, But yeah, it's who joined? Somebody just joined. Oh, just boosted the server. There we go. Right on.
What's that?
It says you just boosted the server. I'll give you the Roy's metal glue, borax metal glue. But yeah, isn't ashamed to know the iron carbon diagram. Blacksmiths Anonymous. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm a blacksmith. Hi, Kevin. But yeah, so yeah, so that's 5160. That's the metal of the week, and that kind of being a simpler steel than some of the ones that we have talked about this past month, but also one of the more commonly used in a blacksmith shop, in the smithy. It's a really good topic. Like it's one of those that it's a simple steel to use that we all benefit from using. Sure, you can take and make a mild steel chisel, mild steel punches and whatnot like that, and use them and have them be a usable tool, just not very, very long. And you could take a coil spring, stretch it out, cut it off, and make yourself a punch, and not even bother heat treating it, and it will be significantly better than mild steel. Hey, Chewy. Yep. It is 3 minutes to the end of the show. We have definitely already covered Metal of the Week.
Yeah, and personally, I don't have the luxury to run long today. I've got quite a full, busy schedule.
So. I got some stuff to do myself. But yeah, I guess we'll with 2 minutes left, we'll do this. We'll be like, do the thank yous and everything. I'd like to, big thank you. I know he had to leave, but big thank you to Sam Towns for popping in as well. And a huge,
yeah, for sure, man. It's always good to bounce my research off of him, because he can just right off the top of his head, just it's good for this, it's good for that, it's got this, it's got that, and it's just man, he's like a walking metal dictionary.
Yeah. And a huge thanks to Sully for, I don't know if you guys realize this, or maybe you do, but I'm the comic relief. Sully is kind of the brains behind this operation, and so it's everybody makes sure that when you give Sully the props and the thanks. He comes up with the medals. He comes up with the with the research, and I just sit back and go, so what are we talking about?
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't come up with any information that anybody else can't find usually. Sometimes I got to do a deep dive, and where I got to look up manufacturers and email them a question. But mostly it's information that anybody can get if you just spend the time. But at the end of the day, who really wants to? So you can just let me do it and tune in and maybe learn something you didn't know, maybe not. Or maybe you can teach me something. I love that. So
right.
Even like last night when I decided on 5160, I thought, well, this is going to be fairly boring because I mean, like I already, you know,
really
I
wasn't.
pretty sure I got 5160 figured. Start, you know, hit lights.
Right. Sounds like Sully cut out.
Sorry, that was my finger over the microphone.
Okay.
Never mind.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, just a little glimpse in the hey, D Nice, right at the end. Just a little glimpse into what he goes through to provide us with information to discuss and chat and goof around about every Sunday. And Robert, that is a beautiful candle snuffer. Awesome. But yeah, huge thank you to Sully for that. Thank you to Roy today for providing us with some Christmas entertainment in the forms of super chats. And all of you guys in the chat, thank you for joining and participating and having fun, and John Brunell for us hearing his voice in the live stream for the first time.
Yep.
But yeah, it's Sunday. Get out there and do what you do on a Sunday. If it's your take a break day, I recommend catching up on Doctor Who. If it's your shop day, get out there and wear your safety glasses and do stuff. If it's your yard work day, sorry. Wait, I'm what? But yeah, join us every Sunday for Blacksmiths Community Chat, Metal of the Week, and you are more than welcome to get on the Discord and hop in the chat and use the Discord. What it's for. It's what it's there for. I'll toss the link again real quick, and somehow I can't remember how to invite people. There it is. Invite people. Copy. Paste. And yeah, and then remember, I do live streams on Wednesdays, where I'm actually in the forge or in the shop working on things. Always a good time. Yeah, so don't forget me. I hope to get back to doing some videos soon. It's been so rough finding time to get the camera out there and set it up for stuff that I'm doing and all that stuff. It's just been so hard to find the time. But I do hope you guys have a wonderful day. Sully, any final words? John, any final words?
What's that, Yamas?
I was saying, are there any final words for the?
No,
outro?
man. Just hey, thanks for showing up. Thanks for the support, and love you all. If y'all didn't show up, I can't say we wouldn't still do the show, but it would be a whole lot less enthusiastic if it was just me and Yamas chatting to ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I felt like Wednesday. The chat was just moving so slow. But yeah. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk with you later. Bye now. We're clear.